in the Rising. Come to you live at 4 a.m. in the Rising. Y'all should not be up. What y'all doing up? Alright, I'm doing Louie Luggage tonight, so I hope y'all like it. If you don't, okay. But I'm coming to you live. We're gonna do this thing. Yours truly, Halo. Halo. Yeah, let's get to it. Halo. Grand Rising. Grand Rising. I'm yours truly, Dibblery, representing for Louie Luggage. What did we just see tonight? Now, if y'all not here for the Louie Luggage, I'm so sorry. I love y'all. What y'all doing up so late? What you doing up so late? It's 4 a.m. Well, let me say at 3:58 a.m. Eastern. It's late after this game with Colorado Buffaloes versus CSU Rams. I'm telling you, after this game, I was just like, wow. And that's what the commentator said, wow. But we said it at the same time. Wow. Wow. All right. If you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. Those of y'all who are still up, is it past your bedtime? What you doing up? Y'all go and visit us at Louie Luggage, Louis Luggage, all right, on TikTok. Visit us at Louie Luggage on YouTube. We pulling this thing together. Y'all help us build it. Louie Luggage. We all about Coach Prime and the Louie Luggage that's in Colorado. I got to get on this game. I got to do a recap because they took the game down and I can't see the game. I can't do my replay, so I need to do it right now. Colorado Buffaloes 43 over the Colorado State University Rams, which was 35. 43-35, they win. This was a straight up dog fight. This was a straight up dog fight. And I'm talking about a defensive dog fight. And then the offense had to get into it. But I got to go over and recap this. I hope y'all with me. If you're not, you're supposed to be in bed anyway. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're up with me, let's do this thing. If you saw that game, let's do this thing. All right, I'm getting into it now. All right. Now, I've said this in the last segment I did, where I said never take your opponent lightly. Never take your opponent lightly. So it was expected that Colorado Buffaloes were going to come in here and run all over the CSU Rams. So CSU was at Colorado, all right, in a hostile territory. But they came out swinging and they were slugging, all right. They didn't come in here to lay down. And so for those of y'all who don't know, these two melanated coaches, head coaches, Coach Prime, and then the other one, Norville, for CSU. And this was the first time two melanated head coaches for college or Power 5 college went head to head. All right. So now, in this, Jay Norville has said a lot of negative things about Coach Prime, and Coach Prime took it personal. And his team took it personal as well. So there's this whole thing that Coach Prime had with the sunglasses, and we putting the sun, because Jay Norville said something about you're supposed to take your sunglasses off. My mama taught me how to do it. And Coach Prime took it like, oh, would you talk about my mama? Okay. And so Coach Prime, he's not one to really talk trash. He takes situations and uses them to his advantage. And so with this, he brought out the sunglasses, and he's giving sunglasses to his whole team and sunglasses to the television, the people on the television network, and everybody else is getting sunglasses, and he's Oprah Winfrey with it. You get a pair of sunglasses. You get a pair of sunglasses. You get a pair of sunglasses. Everybody get sunglasses. All right. So game time comes. And again, everybody's expecting Colorado to run over this CSU team. Now, let me say something to you. I saw this team's game against Washington State. And as I said in my last segment, I don't want to take away from the awesomeness of Washington State because I haven't really watched Washington State. But when I watched uh, Colorado State play them, they did not look good. They didn't look good at all. I didn't see an offense. The only thing that I saw that was good about that team was the offensive line. The quarterback play was not good. They were throwing interceptions. Their defense looked light. Uh, the only other thing I saw with them is they had a fast kick returner, Kobe Johnson, number 0. But I got to say, the quarterback, Nicolasi, and I don't want to butcher his name. This team looked different. This team looked different than that team that showed up against Washington State. And again, perhaps Washington State is just better than what we expect because I think they are a ranked team. But they were a different team tonight on the field against Colorado Buffaloes. And they came slugging. All right. That being said, there was dirty play on behalf of CSU. I got to say this, that hurt my heart and probably everybody else's heart. We lost our friend Travis Hunter. We lost Travis. Somebody took a cheap shot on him, number 8. No, it wasn't number 8. It was number 11 for CSU, took a cheap shot. And they were taking cheap shots, and they were playing hard. They were playing very physical football. This was a good game. This is a good game. This wasn't a blowout at all. And as a matter of fact, I knew better. I knew they were going to win, Colorado Buffaloes. I knew they would win. But it was too close for comfort. As a matter of fact, this was a double overtime game for those of you who did not watch it. Double overtime. You talking about nail biters. All right. So, again, this team that came out, they came out scratching and clawing and biting. They were seriously trying to win this game and not talking about rolling over. But then, Colorado doesn't roll over either. The Buffaloes don't roll over. Shedeur doesn't roll over. So you had the coach of CSU saying that Nebraska outplayed Colorado and that TSU outplayed Colorado, and it was Shedeur that saved them. I'm going to say this, and I don't want nobody to get mad at me. All right. And even the team would say, Colorado would say, they played like hot garbage. That's what Coach Prime said. And they did. And to be honest with you, yes, I would say that in this game, CSU, they moved the ball. So let's go into some stats, okay? So we could see, okay, were they outplaying them? When we're talking about time of possession, see, there are certain key factors that are in place or that need to be in place when you're wanting to win a game. We're talking about turnovers. We're talking about time of possession, penalties. All right. Now, when we're talking about even, sometimes first downs come into play. But let's talk about time of possession. That's normally huge. When you're looking at games and the teams that win games, those are the teams that are controlling the ball. And tonight, CSU was controlling the ball. They had the ball 35 minutes to Colorado Buffalo's 25 minutes. That's huge. But what helped them to pull it out? Well, they had 4 turnovers to 2 turnovers. 4 turnovers. CSU turned the ball over 4 times. Colorado twice. All right. And tonight, unfortunately, Shedeur got his first interception because he threw a ball. It was a good ball to Jimmy Horn, and Jimmy Horn missed it. It went through his hands as he tried to pull it in. Somebody else got the other team got it. Okay. But the thing about it is also yards rushing yards. CSU got their rush game going. So when you're looking at the rushing, the time of possession, even total yards, CSU had 490 something yards. I'm gonna pull up the stats, but I'm gonna just tell you passing wise, CSU had 397. All right. Whereas when we're talking about Colorado Buffaloes, they had 348. Total yards for Colorado, 410. Total yards for CSU, I'm going to tell you right now, 400, close to 400, almost close to 500 yards for CSU. So when you're talking about, yeah, total yards, it's saying 499 for CSU, 418 for Colorado Buffaloes. So when you're talking about where they outplayed, we're just giving you the stats. We're just giving you the stats. But I'm going to say this again because for the second week, that defense stepped up. That defense, they stepped up. Now they were bending a little bit. They were allowing more first down. Here's another thing. First down yards. Okay. We're talking about third down conversions. When we're looking at CSU, they had 10 of 20 third down conversions, whereas Colorado had 4 of 13 third down conversions. I mean, again, we're just talking about the number of sacks. CSU had more sacks on Colorado than Colorado had on CSU. CSU had about 8 sacks. I attribute this to a team that's got a lot of fight in it because, again, when I look at this team, it totally reminds me of Jackson State and what was done at Jackson State. And I'm going to say this again. I said it my first break. They need to treat it like it's a bowl game because it's getting that much attention. It's getting that much media. They're getting millions of people. They had 4 million people watching the Celebrity Bowl. 4 million. Every game here, it's been above 7 million. 7 million TCU. 10 million last week with Nebraska. I don't even know what the ratings are, but this was a good game. If you paid money for this game, you got your money's worth. This was a good game. All right. So let me continue because I got some notes and I'm going to be up. So thank y'all for hanging out with me. I thought y'all was going to be asleep, but welcome. All right. Listen, got to get into this. Once again, this game was double overtime, 43-35. 43 Colorado Buffaloes to 35 CSU. All right. Now, first half. No offense coming from Colorado Buffaloes. Here we got a pick from, I got to give it up to Shiloh Sanders. Got to give it up to Shiloh because we had what we thought was a pick in the first half. Then they called it. They said, no, it wasn't a pick. Turn around, and the very next play or 2 plays later, because I can't see the game, but 2 plays later, yeah, he had a pick. And he took it back, what they call a pick 6. 6 points off that pick. And so, Shiloh was very big at tonight. Shiloh was very big on defense tonight. So then he runs that back. But after that, we're thinking, oh, that's good. We got the momentum. Yes, we're ready to do this. But no, wait a minute. Because CSU came to play and they were scrapping. All right, so I'm not going to do a play-by-play. Because there's so many things that happened. This was a cliffhanger. First half, no offense coming from, one second. Hold on. Who is talking? Okay, thank you. So, 43-35. Now, this was a cliffhanger. And again, if you paid your money for this, it was worth it for you. Now, one of the things, I'm going to go through this because then I'll come back to, I'm circling my notes because I took some notes, ladies and gentlemen. One of the things I need to say about this, and I'm going to come back to this too. There was on the defense, they were just after Shador. They made him very, very uncomfortable in the pocket. He was having a hard time finding people. And then we got all of these fast receivers, but evidently, if Shador is holding on to the ball, somebody's not getting open. And then the offense does not seem to be holding up for Shador. So here we got this situation once again. He's not able to pass. He's not able to get set and find people in the pocket. He's still taking care of the ball because the interception really was not on him that was taken, but he's going to get that interception. Okay, so they had no running game. They're having a hard time running. Once again, when you have this team here that's constantly running the ball and they're starting to run downhill on your offense, it's going to be a long night. And I'm telling you, this was a long night for all of us. That's why it's 4 a.m. in the morning. And I got to get this out because it's on my mind. It's fresh. I need to talk about it. All right. We talked about our friend Travis being down. They're saying that he's going to be out for at least 3 weeks. And, it's so late because I wanted to wait for Coach Prime to do his press interview. But yeah, so he said that Travis is going to be out for at least 3 weeks. I want to give a shout out to the tight end. Tight end stepped up for Colorado in the second half because the first half they weren't doing much, but you got to give credit to the defense because the defense, even though they were bending, as they say, they bend, don't break. They was bending. No, but they didn't break. And they came up with stops. Now, I need to go into this about the second half. Again, going into the second half, after halftime, during halftime actually, the score was 21-14. And Colorado State was up. So now, what is being said to this team in the locker room? What do you say to them except for stay calm? We got this in order. All right. What they say? Don't panic. What do they say? Take a deep breath. Don't panic. It's going to be okay. All right. So they had to calm down. We're hoping, all of us Buffalo fans are hoping that they come back out after the second half and are ready to regrouped and ready to play because they weren't playing in the first half on offense. So they come out in the second half and they're still looking like hot poo. Hot poo. And so it became concerning. All right. Because I need to, let me see if I can go into this. No, I couldn't. I shut that page. So what happens is in the second half, you've got the team still not playing well, not able to move the ball. Once again, I told you third down conversions, 10 of 20 for CSU and 4 of 13 for Colorado Buffaloes. When Jay Norville says these teams outplayed Colorado, I love Colorado. And I cannot say that he's wrong. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they know how to get the win. And he's saying that it's Shador that's saving them. Well, thank goodness we got our quarterback, even though they did make attempts to take him out of the game. Number 8, who was ejected from the game for targeting Shador. All right, so they were playing dirty. They were playing dirty. But they were playing, though. That you couldn't take away from them. They were running the ball. They were passing. They were getting more first downs. Yeah. So I got to go into this, though. Again, I said to you, this game, especially now, last week's game reminded me of the Celebration Bowl. But this game was definitely even more like the Celebration Bowl than last year. Now, I got to say this because in that Celebration Bowl, I remember at the end of the game, all right, they got a touchdown. Now, the previous drive that they did in that game, we're talking about the Celebration Bowl last week with Jackson State. And why am I talking about this? Because Shador was there. He was in a bowl game. So he was winning in Jackson State. And I don't know why people keep talking about how this team lost when you got a winner coming from another team. That's just on the HBCU level. No, he was a winner. But this reminds me of that because in that game, when the previous drive before the last one, they went for 2 points and they missed it. So they come back down the field and they need this touchdown because it was the last second, just like similar to this game. And they needed that touchdown and they got that touchdown. And I was thinking to myself, now, it was like they were going to go into overtime. And I was concerned because it was like you can win the game right now. Now you can win the game right now. And one of the things I was, my whole thought when this season started is I hope Coach Prime plays to win and not play to not lose. Understand what I just said? I hope Coach Prime plays to win and not play to not lose. What does that mean? It means when you have the opportunity to take them out of the game, take them out. And in that game, in the Celebration Bowl, either they were going to go into halftime by kicking a field goal, or they could win the game by going for 2-point conversion. All right, they chose to not go for the 2-point and they just went for the one. They went into overtime and they couldn't pull it out. All right, the other team was they couldn't stop the other team. Let's put the defense, they didn't have any answers for that offense in that Celebration Bowl. Now, once again, right now, that defense is stepping up. For Colorado, the Buffaloes, that defense is stepping up. All right. So here's a situation where they're in overtime. And now when Colorado drove back on their last play, they had to make a 2-point conversion because they were down by 8. So they didn't have a choice but to go for 2. And they got it. Okay. So now come back and we're the first session of overtime. All right. Colorado drives down, gets a touchdown and an extra point. CSU drives, gets a touchdown and an extra point. Colorado comes back, drives, gets a touchdown. This time, on the second one, they say we're going for 2 points. And they go for 2 points. You're talking about a nail biter. We're like, get it. Come on, Cletus. You can do it. Yeah, they did. 2-point conversion. And that put them up by 8. So now it was the defense that needed to step up so we can close this game out. And they did. It was the defense that really pulled this game out. So again, it was a defensive slugfest. Whereas the TCU game, that was an offensive slugfest. See these high scores, 43-35? Well, they kind of high. They weren't that high before overtime. But the defenses were slugging. And yes, it was Shador that pulled. Shador has to play exceptional football to pull this team out. And he's at least taking care of the ball. He's at least taking care of the ball. Now, what we're hoping to see is that they start their offense quickly. I got to say something about this now. There's a lot of celebrities at the game. And I'm happy that they're going away to Oregon. I'm happy that they're going away because I think they're going to be more focused. And I know, some of y'all, oh, they got the celebrities and the rock and the whoever and the whatever and the Lil Wayne is performing. It's a lot of distractions. And I'm saying to you, I expect them to go into Oregon and play against Oregon the way the offense did in TCU. Now that they have their defense clicking, I expect them to at least be able to go in there, the offense to go in, because they're going to be less distracted. They're going to have more time to focus on the game and not, doing this press conference over here and doing this press conference over here. You need to focus. Everybody needs to focus because you have all of this talent and this ability to make things happen, but it's not showing up. That offense showed up at TCU when they went away. They're gonna have less distractions. All right. Defense. I'm just going over my notes because I got to get all this stuff out of my system. Nicolasi, he threw for 400 yards, or excuse me, 397 yards today. Excuse me. Is that the right number? Yeah, 375. Now his passer rating is not as high as Shedeur. He's 35 for 48. Shedeur is 38 for 47. So Shedeur, he's ranked up there. He's proving himself as a good quarterback. But yeah, listen. We just can't. You can't. What is it? This team has fight in it. Now it's going to get to the point where you're not going to just be able to get by with subpar play and expect to win. It's going to get to that point. Wonderful. The defense is clicking. And I said this before. They are going to bowl games. They are going to bowl games. And if you want to win in a championship game, the defense got to be clicking. They have that now. Now, offense, come on, show up. Because the thing is, when they went into this game, it was, we want to be dominant. We're going to dominate. We're going to dominate. We're going to beat them. Did they dominate tonight? No, they didn't. And I'm happy. Yes, you got to win. We got to win. Congratulations. Now, when we're going up against teams that are not going to allow you to play subpar and win, yeah, that's got to step up. The offense got to show up when they hit the field. Not no, oh, I'm going to wait till the second quarter or wait till halftime. No, you got to show up. I'm excited to see them playing to win. That was one thing I was concerned about. And I'm going to state this now. I'm going to tell you what I see as the reason why Colorado is able to pull these games out. Their conditioning. Their conditioning. They are just better physically to handle this long haul. And not to say that, CSU rolled over, because they did not roll over, not one bit. But Colorado Buffaloes are more conditioned. They were cramping up. One of their players, that number 8, the one that got thrown out of the game, he went down on the field at least 3 times. They needed him. Like, he went down with injuries and holding his knee at least 3 times. He was cramping up. They're not conditioned for this. And so I say to you, one of the things that I see that helps them pull it through, their conditioning. Their conditioning and their discipline. The way they've been trained. That when you get tired, what you going to do? You're going to fall back on the fundamentals. That's why we doing this thing. We're practicing the right way, so that when we get tired, the only thing we can fall back on is the right way. So I say, again, their conditioning. Congratulations on that conditioning, because that is what's helping them to win these games. Now they got to start putting together full games. Let me rephrase this. Next week, they must put together a full game. A full game. This was an exciting game that they were going to win this one. That one. This one I knew they were going to win it. However, I don't like biting my fingernails, and I was biting my fingernails. All right. Mata came in after Philly missed a field goal. Coach Brown's like, now we need consistency. Because see, once again, going back to the celebration game, who was in the celebration bowl? Mata was there. Shador was there. Travis was there. Shiloh was there. These are all playmakers. Those are winners. They've been in bowl games. And they're going to be in bowl games this season. Thankful for the pickup of the defense and the play of Shador. Because, yes, when we look at these stats, in all of the places where teams tend to lose, if they don't dominate in these places, time of possession, yards, rushing, passes, if you're not dominating in those fields, you don't win the game. But what they did dominate in is turnovers. All right. They dominated in, what else did they dominate in? Oh, they got, the other team had more sacks. CSU had more sacks. Yeah, I understand what he means when he says the other team outplayed. Yeah, because, yeah, tonight, CSU, they have better stats in those other fields. Don't get mad at me. I'm just giving you the stats. I'm saying they're getting ready to go up against Oregon next week. They have to put together perfect games on the offensive side of the ball as well as the defensive side of the ball, because we're going to win that game. Defense, that defensive line, you need to step it up because y'all allowing too many runs. Again, the defense, the secondary is doing what they need to do. The offensive line, or the defensive line rather, they step up from time to time. They step up, but at the same time, they got to put together a very good game on both sides of the ball. That's what I'm looking for. And yes, Shador is all that, plus a bag of chips. However, there's going to come a time when they've got to step up on both sides of the ball. All right, so they weren't dominant. I'm just taking care of my notes. The distractions. You're going to see. I'm saying you're going to see a different offense when they go to Oregon, because they're going to have the less distractions. That's going to play a big deal, a big difference on how they perform. I know they say, oh, no, we're not distracted. We don't even know what's going on. Give me a break. Give me a break. You can't not know what's going on with Lil Wayne and all, Rock and all these other people from Michael Irvin and, all these. It's too distracting. How can you focus on what you need to do when you got all of this? You got the BET Awards on the sidelines, as they say, the BET Awards. They need less distractions. Defense was on the field for way too long. And again, they did their job, but they were on the field for way too long. All right. And, at one point now, and this is when I could tell Coach Prime got a little bit concerned. He took the glasses off. He put them away. Like, here, hold these because I need to go over here and focus on this game. All right. Wrapping it up, and I'm ready to get up out of here. I want to thank y'all for staying awake. Welcome. I should have given y'all shouts out. I'm going to give you shout outs in a second. Y'all not saying anything. Y'all just scrolling. Nobody said a word. That's okay. I want y'all to go over to LouieLuggage.com. Excuse me, yeah, Louie Luggage on TikTok and Louie Luggage on YouTube. All right, last thing, and then I'm gonna get out of here. All right. Um, yes, CSU was playing dirty, and somebody said they call it CSU a cheap shot university. That's what it means, cheap shot universities. All right, they were playing dirty, and again, we lost our boy Travis. I was sad about that. Uh, Not going to be in it for 3 weeks, but this was an exciting game. And also, Trevor Woods did a nice job this tonight as well. He picked the last ball up off. He picked off the last ball when CSU was trying to tie the game at the end of the game. Trevor Woods got the interception. Defense stepped up, specifically the secondary. All right, so let me read these stats off and I'm going to get out of here. Turnovers. CSU had 4 turnovers. Colorado Buffaloes had 2. That was one of the areas where they were winning, thank goodness. Third down conversions. CSU had 10 out of 20 conversions versus Colorado Buffaloes 4 out of 13 conversions. Sacks. Actually, I didn't get the sack stats, but I know Colorado suffered 7 or 8 sacks on Shador. The first downs. All right. CSU had 23 first downs to Colorado's 24 first downs. All right. The Buffalo they was winning in the first down, but not in the third down attempts. They were not. Yards thrown, not 397 yards or 399 yards, and then 348 yards Colorado Buffalo. So 399 for Colorado State University and 348 for CU. Passing attempts, 35 of 48 attempts. So he made 35 plays out of 48. And Shador had 38 attempts out of 47. 38 completions out of 47 attempts. All right, interceptions. Colorado CSU had 3 interceptions versus Colorado's 1 interception, winning in that field. Yes. Rushing yards, 101 rushing yards to 70 rushing yards. Time of possession, as I said earlier, 34.5 minutes to Colorado Buffalo's 25 minutes. They dominated in that. So the penalties, though, this is another place that Colorado was leading. The CSU Rams, they had so many penalties that cost them 179 yards negative. So once again, Colorado Buffaloes pull it out. They have an exceptional quarterback. It's the quarterback play that helps them to win these games, as well as their conditioning, as well as their coaching. So I say to you, they will win against Oregon, but it's going to be a dogfight. I'm going to come back later on in the week. We're going to talk about that game with Oregon. What is Oregon like? What are they showing up like? But I want to say this again. We never underestimate our opponent for any reason. And Colorado, and even the spread, they did not win the spread. What is 9 points? They won by let me see. Okay, so they won by what? 8 points? Yeah. So they won by 8 points. They didn't cover the spread because people expected Colorado to win this by a couple of touchdowns. All right. But they did pull out the victory. Congratulations, Colorado. Now we're on to Oregon. I expect them to win. I expect them to show up from the beginning of the game, like they did with TCU. Take this team serious because we know Oregon is a good team. But we're going to talk about what it takes to beat them. We're going to talk about, once again, how Oregon shows up, if they really are all that people are saying they are. How do they match up compared to the other teams that Colorado has played? And before I get out of here, I'll say this. One of the things about Colorado, they've shown that they got fight. But then that's what happened when we're talking about in the last season where they were just fighters. And the way that they were playing that team in the Celebration Bowl, yeah, that team was bigger. And they were making more plays. But Colorado stayed with them, all right? And that's because of the play of Shador. And now they're winning. They're winning games, but if they want to win championships, they got to get that defense and put a full game together. Everybody got to be clicking. That defensive line got to be clicking. So they put a full game together, but that's the only way they're going to win these championships. They're going to win a lot of games. Colorado will beat Oregon next week. They're going to show up. They're going to be more disciplined. They're going to be more focused. They're going to be less distracted. All right? I'm going to come back later on in the week. I want y'all to know I love you. I appreciate you. Shout outs to all my people staying up with me in the morning at 4 a.m. I'm out here, Steven. I love you.